So in a scenario where uh, we're starting a new coaching journey with an executive,
Hmm.
there are a number of, let's say there's 10 things that need to happen as part of that journey. Everything from assessment to, talking to the sponsor, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I guess in my mind, the simplest way to put together that process is a checklist, right? Like there's 10 things to do. They need to be done at certain times. A checklist is a simple way to keep track of those 10 things that need to be done. What what is what is the alternative that you're suggesting would be better than a checklist, at least for this
So, mm,
example use case?
yeah. So if you handed a checklist to someone who's untrained, would they be able to handle that client flawlessly, or
Unlikely. I mean,
so
it would
that's
have to be someone who's already experienced with that
yeah.
process.
So that's the thing that we're trying to aim for is we're trying to remove room for assumption, interpretation, creativity, right? So if we're looking at the client journey, I we treat that more like a production line in terms of you have a 10 processes organized, a single one that then triggers that then triggers the process like after it, right? And I would be looking at, I mean, for example, probably using a single task assignment process framework for each of those. I would have a checklist inside the process. I would have the examples, the screenshots, the process steps, the outline, the schedule, the KPIs, and a training video in that. And the reason we include all that isn't so that the team needs to read it or use it all, but it's because if someone is new to your company, they will read and go through all of it. If they're pretty experienced, they might skip the training video and just use the screenshots. If they're really experienced, they'll skip it all and just use the checklist. So it's about designing something flexible that anyone from any experience, if they're new or senior, can use that process, as opposed to assuming everyone should know this. Everyone should know this inside and out, which is the problem with a lot of companies is they just design a checklist and they then blame their team for not being able to use it properly. So it's either going to be that the company has to build a process that is flexible enough, robust enough to cater to as many team members, or there'll be problems with team members down the line, which usually costs more and takes up a lot more time. So I personally like to front load the time and correct problems before they occur through processes, as opposed to assume that everyone just knows the things that I know as well.
Okay.